So I'm Nathaniel Polke. I lead IT for Sugar Mountain. We're a collection of premium consumer food brands, iconic restaurants, and then we operate foundations around our brand promise, which is clean food. Like Sugar Mountain Livestock is unique in the sense that not only do we own the individual genetics of animals, we own bulls. Those bulls produce calves. We own those calves through their life, and then ultimately they're harvested and sold as beef through a variety of channels nationwide as well as internationally. So some of the challenges that we had before we implemented inecta was having a reliance on legacy systems. A lot of information were in the heads of our team and not in a tool, which caused problems as we tried to grow. We had limited access to information. The consistency of that information was sometimes challenging, as well as inefficient processes related to our day-to-day operations of the business. So we had a aggressive implementation timeline that was set by our leadership. In partnership with inecta, we were able to put together the necessary elements of the project and execute on them so that not only did we meet our target, but also exceeded our target. The inecta team worked with us along the way to clarify our requirements, make sure that we stayed on track, and get us to the finish line where we went live. And from the perspective of our customers, it was seamless. Orders were taken, orders were shipped, and we were off to run. So one of the things that we like about inecta is that they bring industry-leading food tools to their customers. So in our case, we needed to track all of our cows at a very granular level. All of the performance information as they were on feed, their heritage information, and ultimately their grading performance once they're harvested. To solve that, inecta built us what we call a cow card. Much like an inventory card, a card that represents an individual animal, a cow, and all of the elements related to that. Where did they come from? What was the producer? Where have they been located? What was their lineage? And ultimately, how well did they perform once they were harvested? By using the inecta tools, we've been able to take control of our business in ways that we were not able to do in our past systems. So now we have full visibility of our animals as they're on feed. Once those animals are produced into beef, the beef inventory as it is sold. And so we now have end-to-end visibility of our entire cattle supply and beef supply chain in ways that we never did before inecta. Inecta is just a great partner. We enjoy the creativity that all of the team has, their willingness and eagerness to solve problems, get into the details, and really share in sort of a collective success of improving people, process, and technology.
So my name is Alan Strutz. I work for Sugar Mountain. I've been here about 7 years. I work in the IT department as a technical architect. Yeah, inecta was fantastic in a number of different ways in terms of solving the challenges we came into the project with. So one of the big challenges that we had to face was as we harvest cattle every week, we get a bunch of data, grading data really from those cattle, and that's all really, really important data because it ultimately tells us how these cows performed, and then we feed that back into our operation processes and then guide kind of our decision making from that standpoint. And so we needed a way to ingest this data, and that had never really existed in anything that we had done before. And so we were able to work with you guys and customize the production worksheet to essentially be, in some ways, a data collection point for us for all this grading data, but then also walk through all of the pieces of taking cows and turning them into ultimately beef that we sell. All of that really helped to build kind of an end-to-end solution for us that gave us the ability to not just track beef and sell beef like we had in our previous systems, but also track and sell and manage all of our cattle inventory as well. So we had a team of, I think it was 4 different people that we had on our implementation team, and I think we worked really, really well together. So they came in and brought really a lot of structure and stability to a project. We put a lot of demands on them. We were asked by the president and CEO of the company to essentially do an full ERP implementation in about 9 months, which is pretty unheard of. And so it required a lot of structure, a lot of organization, a lot of communication. There was a lot to manage between there. And I think we worked really well together. There was great communication communication. They were very focused. They were responsive when we asked them to do things. They were really innovative and creative with some of the approaches that they had to solving our solutions and the different challenges that we had. And they were great to work with, like pleasant, happy people, a lot of fun, very kind. And I think looking through all the things that we did, maintaining that level of professionalism, even in some of the difficult moments, because every project has its challenges, right, that you have to deal with. They had a great, gracious professionalism that I think that they demonstrated throughout that entire project, and we're excited to work with them again on future projects.